Moving ahead, we have a panel discussion lined up for you. The panel discussion would be on the subject of data analytics and CX, enhancing customer experience and satisfaction. I would like to invite our speakers and moderator on the stage. May I request Sumitra Patnaik, Associate Director, CX and Customer Service, OLX India. Let's give her a big round of applause, everyone. Kindly join me on the stage, please. Up next, we have Mr. Prince Arora, Head CRM and Network Marketing, BMW India. Let's welcome him on the stage, everyone. Our next speaker is Krishna Gautam, Vice President, CX Urbanic. Give him a huge round of applause. Next we have is Ms. Meetu Arora, Vice President, Customer Care, Sleepwell Group. Heartiest welcome. Moving on, our next speaker is Mr. RATNESH Srivastava, Head Global Loyalty Analytics, Mastercard. Moving on, our next speaker is Mr. Pradeep Chopra, Vice President, Product and Head of CX, IndiaMART, InterMESH. Heartiest welcome. And ladies and gentlemen, now it's the time to invite our moderator on the stage. Let me take the pleasure to invite Mr. Kishor Fogla, founder, Yellow Slice. May I now request our moderator, Mr. Kishor, to kindly take the session forward.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction, and I welcome all the panelists on the board. So what a lovely panel to have, right from waking up at Sleepwell mattress to selling things at OLX. I would say syncing life with... Ridhi is not coming? We have paying with Mastercard, driving BMW, and who else we have? We have... Acha, Kamal. So I think we have had a lot of knowledge session since the morning. I have attended a lot of session. So we thought, how about we keep it quite insightful, since all the panelists, they come from very amazing brand. So let me ask one question, opening question to everyone. How are you using analytics to improve customer experience? And if you can give one example that you guys apply today. So Meetu, maybe you can start with. Where are you using customer analytics in your company right now? So maybe anything that you're doing at Sleepwell that you're taking up right now.
Okay. Thank you for the question. Customer experience today is driven on basis of data. Any changes that you're trying to drive in your processes, in your system, have to be based and relied on data, and that is when we're able to drive efficiency. So one such example is we've been able to reduce the total turnaround time for handling complaints significantly, by relying on data, monitoring the time that it is taking our agents to resolve complaints, and that has made a significant improvement to our overall experience and brand loyalty.
Yeah, I'll probably just take that up. Yeah, so I think I echo with my co-panelist here. Like CX today uses a lot of data and analytics, and if I was to be specific in terms of what OLX does and in CX, so for every function we look at a lot of data. But I can give a great example in terms of from a trust and safety point of view, where everything comes, all the algorithms, all the rules that we have at the back end, all of it is driven by data, by a lot of analysis on the user behavior, on the listings that come to the platform. So we look at all of that to decide who is a good user, who's not appropriate for the platform. All the rules are based on those behaviors that are detected, and there's an early warning system in terms of automation, in terms of manual intervention wherever it is required, basis the data that we get, and with the help of analytics and the CX team, we kind of program manage and pick up smaller projects to implement those changes that we see in terms of red flags.
So do you kind of flag users when you see some data early, like both for people who are selling and people who are
Yeah, so
posting
there
ads?
are two ways, like the flagging is happening, at the initial onboarding itself, where at a device level where you've identified somebody is not appropriate to be operating on the platform. And there's also a reactive approach when somebody seems clean, has entered the platform but is not, again, complying to your policies. That's a reactive way. So we take on both the approaches.
Okay. Ratnesh?
Yeah, so I think when we look about customer experience, if the way I look at it, it starts from product and services we offer, then the pricing we do, then with those product and pricing combination, we have an experiential journey, right? And then you have a mode of communication or channel of communication. In all the four, and then at the end, whichever way you conclude the relationship, every customer has their way of thinking, their profile. You need to understand it well, right? How can you understand without doing analytics? How will you know a person maybe living in nearby area versus somebody living in Chandni Chowk and versus somebody living in Golf Course Road in Gurgaon? What they need, what kind of pricing they need. So to me, it looks like you can't think of a customer experience without analytics.
So I'm sure there would be a lot of bhedbhav in the Mastercard, especially when it comes to, is there any significant analytics that segments users?
Oh, yes, I think segmentation and personalization is at the core of all the consumer company, I believe, but in the fintech and banking, you can't live without it.
Krishna?
Good afternoon, everyone. So, I come from e-commerce, and data analytics is the key in any e-commerce, because what simple process we from outside, like you just click on the website or the app and you get the order, does involve a very sophisticated process at the back end. So to run the entire operation smoothly, we need data analytics at each and every step, every stage. Whether it's starting from what kind of products you need to have, which products, then you need to understand which products are selling fast, what kind of products customers are liking, what they do not like, so you need to take them off the shelves at the earliest. And so for everything behind all these things, a lot of data analytics that plays a pivotal role. And as Sumitra said, that you have to understand the customers as well. So we do a lot of analytics around understanding the customers. Who is the good customer, who is the bad customer, giving them a score, so that we can, you cannot penalize all your customers because of some bad customers. So you need to understand their behaviors as well, how they behave, what if there is any customer is doing fraud with you, and all those things. So analytics plays a very, very major role in identifying those levers, identifying those customers, their behaviors, patterns, and what they like, what they do not like, then showing the products to them, everything. Yeah.
So I believe majority at Urbanics would be like what percentage? Is it all women or?
All women.
So understanding data analytics would be a challenge, right?
That's absolutely, and anyways, understanding women is very difficult. So.
Prince.
Yeah, thank you, Kishor, for the question. I think using data analytics would be understatement. I think we eat, sleep, repeat data, I think, throughout the day, throughout the month. I think in the customer journey, right from the first website visit to, let's say, a vehicle handover, data is created at every touch point. How we are using that data, differentiates you as a brand and organization from rest of the other brands. I think someone touched upon the fact that personalization is the key. How you differentiate as a brand from others. So I think main focus of our brand is to create more and more personalization using the data analytics to create impact.
So a question on that, like BMW is a premium brand, and how would you kind of look at, because I believe which we carried offside was that you look at pre-sales journey, once they are looking to buy a BMW. So my question is, like, are we looking at people who are already into luxury segment, or they're stepping into luxury segment and you kind of help people over there?
No, I think there's a huge band of people who are right now what we call as the near premium segment. All these Fortuners and MGs. This is a segment which is contributing to almost 30-40% of the entire market. They are the customer who are all set to step into the world of luxury. So how we tap into that, how to analyze the customer behavior, what exactly, pushes them to move from the premium to the luxury segment. That's finding that exact element, and that will be different for different people. For someone, it might be a low EMI, or for someone, it would be a overall low cost of ownership. So how do we personalize that offer we are sending out to the customer that can really help us to migrate people from the near premium to the luxury?
Thank you. Thank you for that. Pradeep, I think you're the only one on B2B side that you can give insight on. So how data analytics that you use at IndiaMART?
Thanks for the question. And see, I mean, data is used almost everywhere, right? From designing the user journeys to personalizing every user journey. So whether it's a dashboard or something, so in our case, people wants to have the leads related to their geography, related to their products. So they're very specific to their geography. So I want to do business here, but I cannot go beyond that threshold. The logistics cost won't make any sense. So personalization is very important, and data is the core to it. So we use every cues, we use every data, and based on that, we personalize all those journeys. And beyond that, I mean, it is used everywhere, as in fraud detection also. So when it comes to any of the marketplace which is based on user data, there is a tendency that certain set of people can come and they can manipulate your system. So those data points can also help you identify and flag those users. So data is used almost everywhere to personalize or to flag those exceptions.
So, sure, we will get more into analytics. What kind of analytics will really help? So the second, let's get into customer behavior. I think the first word for CX is customer, and how do we understand our customer? So how do you get into customer profiling? Like, what kind of user behavior do you really look out for? Say, for example, in IndiaMART, you would have B2B people, and your core would be to that, how can I support businesses to grow more? So what are your ideal customer profile? What are the behaviors do you look at?
See, primarily we deal with SMEs, MSMEs. So these are small and medium entrepreneurs. And see, when it comes to data point, right from their behavior, as in their product profile, their nuances of the product, and their geographical preferences.
Pradeep, so if you can be more specific into how do you specify your customer profile? So I think everyone in the audience, and we can get lovely insights from all of you, because a customer is always evolving. The customer base is evolving. Who would be your ideal customer 10 years back would not be an ideal customer now, and how would you see that in the future? So what practices, what data, what roles, how do you identify that in IndiaMART right now? And how do you keep on progressing that? So I'm sure audience can take a note. If anyone comes from any company, they can apply that in their company as well.
So fortunately, I mean, we have a very huge depth and breadth, as in we deal in almost like 1 lakh different categories. So we have customers from medical industry to apparels also. So, I mean, we cut across almost like 1 lakh categories. So primarily the SMEs, so initially it was the small and medium entrepreneurs, now even larger organizations are coming and registering with IndiaMART. And everybody wants to grow business, and digital platforms are growing very fast. So, I mean, we cut across all these industries.
Prince, how do you identify customers at BMW, I'm sure, who would be there like 10, 15 years from now? How do you segment them? How do you find the right customer? And, or maybe if you can give us 1 or 2 hacks that you do, okay, I know for sure that this is a trend and we need to kind of go after them.
So I think if we talk about 8 years or 10 years ago, it was majorly, SME or business owners who was our typical customer profile. But I think over the last few years, it has changed drastically. With the new breed of startups, entrepreneurs coming in, social media influencers, so the field is very diverse now. It is not that particular segment that you can reach out to. And I think COVID also kind of helped people to break that mindset that, just keep saving for future. I think people now believe that today is the day, let's spend it and, make the most of it. So that has really helped to expand the overall segment. So it's very wide. Of course, still the business owners and the professionals are a bigger chunk of the overall customer profile. But like I said, the new gen entrepreneurs and influencers are coming in. So I think we have to be present across, even it's a digital platform or a print media or for example, CTVs is now one of our preferred media channel, because anyone owning a 1 lakh, 1.5 lakh premium CTV, reaching out to him directly using the platform available on LGs and Samsungs, that really helps you to connect with the right audience. So there are a lot of different mediums now available which were not available. Luxury influencers is one. There is a set segment of people who they might not have millions of followers. They probably would have very limited 50,000, 1 lakh followers, but they would target exactly to those people who are aspiring to get into the luxury band, which was not available 8 years ago.
So Prince, like one more, if you go deep down to that, like if BMW has to identify who would be their ideal customer in next 5 years, do you think you would look at the existing data sets, or would you refine and look at who would be your ideal customer in now and looking at 5 years from now? Which data set would you really look at? Like,
no,
from all
I don't think that I can pinpoint that this particular, the existing customer base or the new customer base. Of course, the growth will be driven by the new customer base, but at the same time, you cannot let go of your existing base, because once you have entered the luxury, you will stay in that segment. And if you are not working on your existing segment, they will move to other brands. There will be immense opportunity for other brands, to capture that data. And they really are looking out that the moment BMW, takes the eye off of the existing database, they'll take it away. So you cannot let that go. You at the same time, you have to drive growth, look out for newer opportunities. Like I said, there are professions which probably didn't even exist a few years back, like social media influencer, for example. All the big, let's say, MBA B schools, we know that 5 years down the line, they will be our customers, maybe not immediately after they graduate. So starting seeding that, aspiration at that point is very critical for us today to secure our customer base 5 years down the line.
So basically, you would stick to your current customer database and kind of also be aspirational looking at future.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. You have to diverse. You cannot just, focus on one segment and let go the other.
That's some great insight. So at Urbanics, like which you said, you deal with all women out there. And do you kind of further classify, find out who would be your ideal customer And is that evolved? What is the current scenario? What is the future going to look like? And what one or two data sets would really define them?
So, to identify the customers, we do through various data sets, right? So, firstly, like you understand your current customers, who are your customers, right? We know that from the market space itself, like the kind of product we deal, we know anyone who is going to college or a working woman is our customer, but it's not necessary. The other segments that we look at it is even the housewives, because nowadays a lot of trends are emerging where even housewives are going out for parties, kiddie parties and all. So those are also becoming our customers.
Do you kind of bucket them properly?
Yes.
And then that would kind of lead to targeted ads or reach out, or is general?
No, so we bucket them. We bucket our customers based on age, profession, and those ways. So based on that, we target. So even like we have products which are only for the parties, right? We have products which are suited only for the office, like for the women who are going to office. And then basically theme-wise or the event-wise, those kind of products we have. So when we target the users, we target based on those. Like if it's a housewife going for a kitty party, aged between 30 to 35 or 40, what kind of products they would be liking versus someone in college going for a party, night out with friends. They would like a different kind of a product than a woman aged 35 to 40. So that's how we categorize the customers into different segments, different professions, and then identify what to target to them.
Ratnesh, for you, since most of it is happening in the background, how is Mastercard identifying? Does that make sense for you guys to identify the right customer? Because I don't think customer has a lot of choices when it comes to they want to pick Visa or Mastercard. So how does customer profiling works in your scenario?
No, it does actually. So at a high level, you feel like that we don't interact with consumer directly. But in reality, the services and products which we are offering to our clients, which are banks, those products and services are interacting with consumer.
So your profiling would be banks or would be the end customer that you would be profiling?
For me, the client is bank. But the bank is client because they want to have products and services which consumers want. So end of the day, product and services which we are building has to be intuitive, easy to use, and making economical sense from consumer perspective. So I think if I correlate to the question, the way you look at it, so I think from a consumer space perspective, segmentation and personalization, these are two important. So what I mean by segmentation, for example, let's say a credit card user who is traveling internationally very often versus person who is traveling but not internationally, just domestic travels, versus a person who is not traveling at all. This one information itself says a lot about their needs, right? And the ability to differentiation you can do is very, very granular, micro, whatever you call it. Now, let's say I just give you these three segments. Do you think that there's one credit card, each segment can solve everybody's need? Probably no. And that's where personalization comes. So I think it's the same thing. No, I don't, at least I cannot think of looking at it differently.
That totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Sumitra, at OLX, I think it's a platform and there are various customer profiling you would have from sellers, buyers, and as a platform. So how do you guys go about?
Yeah, so our customers, I mean, it's a very straightforward approach. We have sellers and buyers. So somebody who wants to sell their sell their used product which they no longer need, and somebody else is a buyer on the platform who would probably end up buying that product because he needs it. So, and then we have the segmentation on the seller and the buyer at a package level where that's where we start the cohorting and look at whether he is an individual, seller or he's a business dealer. So in case I have a franchisee or I am operating at a large scale and I want to sell many of the products, similar products or many different products, or say, something like from a mobile category or furniture, I'm located in a, in the, the local market who wants to just have many contacts from the sellers who they can reach out to and ship their products. So seller and buyer, and then we have the segmentation at a C2C, freelancer, consumer, and a B2C level. And the package details are shared basis the engagement or are intended for the sellers and buyers basis the engagement that they have on the platform, and that's determined by the replies. Basically, the heavy dealers or the B2C dealers would end up having a lot of engagement because they have many things to sell versus a seller who has just a single item to sell, and if he's been able to sell it, you would mark the product as sold. So there are a lot of indicators that we kind of look at to segment and target them.
So once you have this data, you know your customer well, and I would specifically would want Kamal also to kind of jump in over here. Sorry, Pradeep. So once as a platform you have this data, how do you convert this into actionable insight? Like you know your customer well now. So how do you, which teams rather you would sit with and you would say that, okay, now we know who is our customer, what is the next step that customer is going to do. So how do you convert that into real strategies and insights?
Yeah, so you have the product, you have the customers coming, and there are the channels that you have. So the real source of truth comes from there, from the calls that you get from customers after they've made the purchase or also before if they have an inquiry about it. So you kind of, have the calls, the social media sentiment on how the experience has been, and also the NPS, which is like indicative of how the touch points or the journey has been for the customer. So what we do is we kind of collate this data and look at it at a very functional level. At a funnel level, obviously you have the sellers, buyers, the monthly active users that are coming to you, the listings that are coming, what is getting moderated, which is fraud, which is not fraud. And after what comes as the real, the good customers on your platform, then you hear what they're saying through your channels. Then you kind of try and draw, at least we draw that theme across these and see if there's some commonality in terms of the grievance or pain points.
You just said you draw themes. How do you draw themes?
Interestingly enough, at least in my experience, I've seen that whatever the customer is complaining or sharing in terms of feedback is almost similar in my calls, in my emails, in my social media. And also NPS is a granular level of looking at a L2 level of the same problem. So that's how we break it down. For example, I would say, if say the customer calls you and says that, your app is really rubbish, it doesn't work. And then you would say, why doesn't, what did you really go through, why doesn't it work? So he said that I searched for a product and I don't get it. So that's a problem for us. So in NPS also, we have a parameter which tells you that, is the search functionality working for you? So then there could be a breakdown of it that did the customer search for something which is not there on your platform, or he has searched for something which is there and it gave an error? So the first one is a tech problem. The second one is that probably the inventory itself is not there. So that is a bigger problem for us to solve. So we look at it from a very granular level at the from an NPS point of view.
Pradeep.
See, in our case, one thing is the engagement of that customer on the platform. So in case the customer is daily active or weekly active, we have clear signal that he's engaging with the platform. So that's one. Number two is, see, that's the intent of usage of your platform. Number two is the capacity of usage or the capacity of that person to pay. So we look at certain signals like turnover of that organization. So based on the intersection of the usage of the platform and based on the capacity of that person to pay, along with certain signals which are coming from the category. So how is that category performing? For example, some of the categories are high performing in IndiaMART. So we are able to generate more business for those categories. So these kind of intersections and obviously, certain further segmentations generally help us identify whether to take this customer to the next level or not. That's how we identify the customer which can go to next.
Once you see this, like you said, you see the revenue, you see how the category is growing, is that a direct brief that goes to your sales team to kind of convert them into some other paying model? How do you kind of convert these into real insights that moves IndiaMART?
So there are two, three things. I mean, we believe in data democratization. So we show all that data in our ERP systems and in a very clear manner so that even the L1 level guy can consume it. So on a very single screen which he uses on the ERP screen, this data is very well captured. So all the data points and all the inference out of the data points are available in the ERP systems. So whether it's a mobile ERP which he uses on the go, so while he's sitting in front of the customer, he knows how well he's engaged, in which categories or in which geographies he's doing business. So that is very, very well presented to that L1 level executive also, very easy for consumption. So that's one thing. And over and above that, we have a lot of machine learning metrics and now AI things also, wherein we can clearly tell him, so looking at this geography, looking at this category, I mean, we can pitch this kind of product to the customer, and this service is being taken by some of the very nearby competitors of this customer. So that's how we clearly tell the L1s or empower our sales team.
Neetu, how is it for you at Sleep Well?
So in terms
Do you
of
see that trend? Because I don't think Sleep Well mattresses are that cheap, right? Like, and you would be having...
we have a very, very wide range of products, and wide range of products catering to a very wide range of customer segments. So you would have something cheap and, I mean, less expensive, I would say, not cheap, for which could be good for students living in hostels. You would have luxury mattresses for people who have that kind of aspiration. You would have mattresses for people at a different age who have orthopedic needs. You have a mattress for someone who, and these are all marketed accordingly. So there are mattresses for people who are focusing on fitness, and they need muscle recovery, etc. So based on the age need, the agent is able to find out and then pitch the right product to the customer across their stages. And then you also have information about what is the customer using already, and what's the, you kind of judge the purchasing power and then pitch the product according to them.
But unlike if you see mobile application, which is quite personal to me, I would not share my mobile, but beds are shared, right? Like couples. So how would you, like if a husband is orthopedic and wife is fit,
so
how would you...
we've got mattresses to have two different fields also. So we cater to that as well. We check with them what their need is, what is causing them pain at this point of time, what is it that they want to solve for. And then if one partner, no partner disturbance mattresses, if one partner prefers a soft comfort mattress while the other has an orthopedic need, then you could also have that covered in one pair. So all of that information, assessing what the customer's need is, knowing what the customer is looking for, asking for the right questions, knowing their demography, helps us solve for their problems.
Thank you. So if it is customer experience, I think it's real-time data and predictive analysis matters the most. So Krishna, at Urbanics, how do you kind of, once you have, the data, you have the customer, what kind of real-time analysis that you do? So for example, if I'm a user, I'm kind of browsing the products, and there are some recent analytics that you have kind of gathered. Does that changes for customer to customer on a real-time predictive analysis?
Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier as well, that it's a very sophisticated process that goes behind at the back, right? So we have to use a lot of data at each and every steps. So to give you an example, like how we use behavioral data and how we use predictive analysis. So for behavioral, like to understand the customer, what they really want. So if you are a user and you are browsing on the website or the app, and you are selecting some product, so our analytics is designed in a way that it will then keep on suggesting you the product that goes well with the one which you are searching for. So let's say if you have selected a top and you're about to buy that, it will give you the products that are going to match with that product. So maybe a suggestion of a bottom pant or a skirt, or maybe some kind of accessories, bags. So those kind of suggestions goes real time. So that understanding the behavior of the customer, that what she is trying to buy, which product, and what we can suggest to go with that product. So something like that we do a lot. And then like for predictive analytics, how we predict the what's going behind the scene is like a lot of we do have a lot of uncertainties because we work with third-party vendors in the logistics, right? We have suppliers like for raw materials. So anywhere it can go wrong anytime, right? So to understand those patterns, what's happening, and since we promise a delivery timeline to the customers, so we need to understand whether we can fulfill between that timeline or not. If anything goes wrong, maybe because of the weather, maybe because of some challenges with the logistic partner, anything can go wrong. So to understanding those patterns, we do predictive analytics. We understand if, okay, there is something that can go wrong, and intimating the customers about those mishaps and telling them that it's going to take more time. And along with that, we also personalize. Like if I know just informing you that your order is going to get delayed is not going to solve your problem, but how we make it personalized, we give some offers, we give some coupons, or maybe a freebie along with the order. So that's our system is designed in a way that it predicts everything, and then based on the user behavior, who is the user, whether he's a loyal customer, whether he's one-time customer, first-time customer, they'll provide the available offers or the freebies to the customers.
So real-time predictive analysis happens more on the offer and retaining the customer, though the churn is lower.
Absolutely, everywhere. Like it's not just about retaining the customer, but about like where we are doing wrong. So if
and is there any specific tool that you guys use, maybe?
No. So we have our data analytics is designed in a way, so it's everything into our system itself, the in-house systems that we use. So we have everything. So it's about understanding the customer. So we have the customer data, we know who is the user, for how long this user is with us, for how many orders she has placed, everything. So based on that, like as I mentioned earlier as well, we give scores to the customers based on their behavior. And that behavior is not just about what they're shopping for, how much they're spending on our platform, but it's also about like if they are making a lot of cancellation, if there is any repeat returns, rejections, and all those things. So combining everything, we do give a score to the users, and based on those scores, we have designed our system in a way that it will automatically fetch, like if you have to give a offer of 100 rupees or a 500 rupees.
So if a customer who has, like if she has placed order 20 times and out of 20 times she has placed return for 18 times, would you?
She is not a good customer for sure.
Okay. Prince, how does, at BMW, would you have real-time predictive analysis for, so you mentioned about influencers and a lot of people coming, which was not the same in the past. So how does real-time data which you gather, how does it help?
I think I mentioned earlier that every touch point we have, I think someone also talked about the omni-channel. So when it comes to car buying, it is very phygital, I would say. There are a lot of touch points which need physical interaction. For example, the test drive experience or the handover. So, and most of the other things, customer prefer doing it online, be it making the payments or, inquiring about the various colors available in the car. So it's a phygital journey. So we have to be very strong. We have to have a very strong omni-channel so that, the customer keeps on moving from one channel to another, and then the continuity and the consistency of his experience be maintained. Predictive analysis comes very handy there. For example, we realized that on our website we were seeing a lot of dropouts, and one small tweak from submit your inquiry to book a test drive, suddenly change the entire thing. So we see a lot more form fills happening the moment we change the same thing just to book your test drive. We also realize that, customer feedback or let's say the dropouts we were seeing was a lot of them were at the test drive stage. They were not getting the test drive vehicle at the time of their preference or the day of their preference. They would, or it would need a lot of coordination. I would call let's say a sales consultant at a dealership. He will go check with his fleet manager, is the car available on that day? Then he come back, no, it is not. Then he'll give alternate day. So we have now digitized the entire thing. The customer can go on website and pick the slot, the day, whatever he wants. So this all we could, predict that these are the challenges the customers are facing, and we could provide solutions to that to keep the journey consistent and smooth throughout.
So when it comes to omni-channel, so do you map all the stores data which is there as well as the bookings that comes on? I'm sure you would have a lot of microsites and landing pages that would convert.
Absolutely. I think across the channels, be it our website, be it dealer website, be it a showroom website or a walk-in or someone, calling into the dealer or any of our partner, everything gets stored at one place. And I think that was one challenge which we used to face earlier a lot, that we all were working in silos. Some data is there, some data is there. What to do with that data, no one, could make a sense out of it. So we made this change about 7-8 years ago, that everything gets consolidated in one place, and then the data analytics which we could do on this was much better and efficient.
Thank you for that. Ratnesh, can you identify or give one instance that Mastercard kind of applied that, and that had a huge impact or maybe a good impact on the overall customer loyalty program, because I think that is something which you would look at. Any instance that you can recall?
You mean applied analytics?
Yes.
Okay. So,
and if you could also mention which analytics was that?
So let me be very clear. And player like Mastercard does almost everything using analytics. Okay. Now, I can give you, I have lived in this industry for roughly 20 years, so I can give you 200 examples, but let me pick one. So in credit card or in all our businesses, everybody's objective is to get people to spend more when they are at our store or our shop or our website, wherever, right? The reality at the core is nobody is going to spend because we are giving them something. They are going to spend because they need something. They need some service, they need some product, that kind of thing. Now, if somebody is, let's say, at Big Bazaar, they already have a list of things they want to buy, right? Because you are giving 10% discount, nobody is going to change that list. Now, the biggest problem is that at that moment, there is X, let's say 5,000 rupees, the person is planning to spend anyway. So if you give them any offer which makes that person spend 5,000, actually you lost money. Now, how do you create an offer which makes him stretch and makes you also make some money? And let's say in the industry, it is called spend X, get Y. It's everywhere, like either in the form of discount or in the rewards or cashback. This entire economics of a spend X, get Y is pretty much dependent on how do you determine X. And I think we cracked this algorithm, and I can't quote all the real figures, but I can definitely give you a range. I think the first time when we tried the algorithm, it lifted the performance by, in certain markets, 20%, certain markets, 60%. So that's the kind of benefit, and this is just one example. So how much stretch do you want to give? Because nobody is going to spend 20,000 if they were planning to spend 5,000. Now it is 7,000, 9,000 or 12,000 is the question, and that's what I think everybody who is doing analytics in the room is trying to answer. So that's the use case I would say.
Sumitra, about in OLX, what would be that one data-driven analytics or insight that came forward, and if you could draw one instance and that really moved the company forward?
So I'll be again very specific to a program plan that we launched for classifieds.
Program.
A program. So we didn't have in fact a NPS charter for classifieds earlier. So and we had it for OLX Autos, which now is no longer a part of the company. So there we did have and at different touch points in terms of from inspection to procurement, but now for classified, for a seller buyer, we used to just target category wise NPS, but now we thought that it's the right time to take an overall, feedback from all the categories that we have, and it really helps the category folks plan in terms of their growth and what customers are talking about, what they're liking, what they're not liking. So it's a success for us because it's very, detailed in terms of every touch point and all stakeholders are involved in it. So it doesn't just, we don't just use the data coming from a very top level view, but we break it down at a business metric. So NPS just for us in terms of feedback doesn't stop at if, a seller or buyer would want to recommend the company to his friend or colleague, but it goes down to why he is unhappy for the detractors and the neutrals, and then we ask them, say for a seller, for example, at an ad posting level, his journey, and or if he did face any issues. So everything, all the L2 level questions is tied to a stakeholder in the company, which can be from the tech team or the product team, or could be a finance person if we are having issues with payment related. So real-time information coming from those, the daily feedback, in fact, the weekly feedback that we collect from customers, and we tie it with the grievances also to see whether that's how big is the problem. Then we also use Google Analytics. Okay, so we look at a lot of funnel data to validate that information. For example, on the, if the app is not responding or it is crashing, there's latency, the render rate is very high. So then that there's something wrong. Those are the red flags that the tech team just tells you, and that the call volumes will go up because something is not working. So then you have an immediate resolution in terms of, the time that it will take to solve, or you don't, at least you can manage the experience at that point in time, and you don't come off guard saying that, you don't know what's happening. So there are a lot of interventions which happen and are in sync because we have a lot of stakeholders from this point of view, and CX, working back from customers is a very important theme for us.
So what changed after that?
So what changed? So right now, what we started with was a very low score in terms of the, the feedback, and while it was still in positive, but it has grown 3x now. So we started at a 13% kind of NPS for sellers, and for buyers around 18 last year and a half, and now it is trending around 33 to 40% for both these cohorts.
That's a great.
So
change,
that was a success story for us.
Pradeep, what would be for IndiaMART, Sumitra was mentioning about Classified, so what was one insight that changed, or any instance that you would want to draw out?
So few years back, our sales team used to go to all the sellers and they used to ask, you want business from which all location? And most of the SMEs would say that we want business from all over India, because nobody wants to lose that opportunity of those leads. And we used to show all the buyers of all the geographies of their category to them. And of late we realized that despite the fact that we are showing buyers of all the categories, these guys are actually consuming leads of only certain geographies. So then we realized that despite their asking to show the leads of all over India, but they would want to only trade in those geographies. From there we found the insight that let's start capturing their preferred cities and their preferred geographies. So once we started doing that, our transaction almost like shot up by 40-45%.
And it would be quite sustainable also, right? Someone
Yeah,
who
it
is
is
in
very
Delhi,
sustainable.
finding a buyer in Delhi would be
And
seller in Delhi.
this actually helped us improve our NPS, as she was talking about. I mean, both the buyers and sellers were happy. These sellers were able to service them well. They were not only consuming the leads, but they were able to provide them products at a cheaper price in their geography because of the logistic costs. So it made both the sides or both the stakeholders happy.
Thank you. So let's have only one question, I promise, on AI. I know everyone is talking about AI and we cannot have any thoughts, go without any thoughts on AI. So looking at, and I would want each one of your opinion on how does future looks at respective companies that you guys, and each one of you comes with almost 20 years of experience. So how are you looking at AI, automation, and what one or two things that you guys are currently doing in your company, or maybe Neetu, you can start.
So I would say that we're rather early in that journey, or at an early stage. So we're currently identifying the key reasons why customers contact us and what are the journeys that we can automate. So we've started automating some of our journeys, and we are starting to see the benefit of those automations as well.
What kind of automations?
So, see, I'm representing manufacturing organization, and what I'm saying is that we really at an early stage of that journey.
So you are quite early in AI and automation right now.
I mean, at an early stage of introducing automations and AI in customer services. While like we have, like other panelists were saying, that we have one common database on which the entire organization works, which is very powerful because then everybody has one version of truth. But from the customer experience standpoint, we are introducing things that some of the panelists and some of the organizations here have already done and are way ahead in it, in terms of making it much more simpler for customers to engage with us, introducing the omni-channel, introducing voice bots, and website bots and all that. So it is something that all our customers expect, and we've got to get onto it very, very quickly. That's the stage that we are in. But even though we're at an early stage, we are really starting to see the benefit of those initiatives. And just one thing that I have to say is that when we introduce those initiatives, we've got to be patient for them to develop, evolve, learn, and then progress further. So that's the stage that we are in.
Sumitra, for you, like AI, automation, are these just buzzwords, or you guys are deeply integrated?
Yeah, so at OLX, everything works around data. I mean, no decision is taken without validating what customers are saying, what product can realistically take up and complete in the roadmap, and also the impact. I think the impact prioritization is very important, and that's what we look at. My take is that, I think hyper-personalization, everybody's talked of personalization, but I think hyper-personalization is here to stay. And what I mean is, I think just making customers happy is no longer the buzzword. It is about understanding customers, valuing, why they've come to the platform, probably looking at real data in terms of browsing or in terms of their needs, and sharing relevant information with them to make it successful in terms of what they're looking at on the platform. I mean, and also with OLX, I think in terms of the data, we have 30 million plus, users coming to our platform daily. So what really works for us will now work better for us is if we give them that experience, which is not very individual, but in terms of their preferences, that is going to be the next step for us.
And if you had to recall one mistake that you made while implementing, would there be any mistake that you would want to call out?
I mean, there could be a lot of things that we really take a stab at, and something works, something doesn't work. And like I said, it's about prioritization. And CX is not the only owner of getting things done. We definitely give a lot of data points in terms of what customers are saying. But like I said, the product team, the tech team, the finances that you have, everything needs to come together to decide what will work for the platform and how much impact it will have in terms of growth, profit, revenue, and also looking at the customers in line. So there are small mistakes, but you then take it back and then you kind of reiterate what you learned. So yeah.
Ratnesh, quickly, if you can say
So
what you...
I think about AI, only thing I will say, so AI or technology is a common commodity available to everyone, right? So the winner is going to be the human who can use those capabilities and execute the insights and learnings and give it to customers in the best way. So AI is here. If democracy is good, that means AI is good, because end of the day, what AI is doing is democratizing some of those knowledge, assets, capabilities to everybody. Otherwise, it was only accessible to people who were probably knowing some coding languages, some other things. So end of the day, but whatever is happening in technology, it is for everyone. Key differentiators are us. So let's do that.
Krishna.
So for us, like AI, we use AI extensively. Like it helps us in a lot of places. We have lots of use cases. Like it has helped us in design. So that has reduced our time to design from months to days now. We use AI into our logistics, which helps us decide which partner we need to use for which order, depending on the cost, performance, distance, and everything. We use extensively in customer service, like Gen AI enabled chatbots and co-pilots for the agents. So it's there, it's pretty much there. And I think most of us are already using it. And as Ratnesh said, we are the only ones who, it's available to everyone, but how we use it, how we make right sense to it is what is the key. And who is that person is going to be the winner. So that's how like we use it extensively in every aspect of the business, starting from sourcing to designing to finance, logistics, everywhere.
Prince.
Yeah, I think, of course, AI is everywhere. I'm happy to use AI as long as it doesn't replaces me.
So is it just so it's more than a buzzword?
But I think AI, for the biggest use case for us is, analyzing the customer feedback which we are getting to design the future products. I think time's up. They have reminded us twice. So I think the future will be decided by the customer insights we get today based on, processing of that data was a challenging task which AI makes easy. So, yeah.
Pradeep.
So in our case, we use AI in different places, right from the matchmaking, the buyer-seller matchmaking, to the customer servicing. So when it comes to customer servicing, it is like you diagnose the issue and you solution it well. Say, for example, somebody is in customer support, some agent, a human agent is there in customer support. He has his good days, he has his bad days. But when it comes to a bot, an agent, there you can actually pull out a lot of context, context from the past conversation, context from the customer behavior. So when you use it as a co-pilot to a human agent, then you are able to diagnose the customer problems very well. And then it is very easy for both the bot and the human to actually solve it together.
Thank you. Do we have time for questions?
No, sorry. All right. Thank you so much to our moderator, and thanks to our panelists for the insightful session. Can we have a big round of applause, everyone? May I now request Mr. Vishal Agarwal, CEO and co-founder of Locobus, to please come up on the stage and kindly felicitate our speakers and our moderator. May I request you, sir, to kindly felicitate Sumitra Patnaik, Associate Director, CX and Customer Service, OLX India. Huge round of applause, everyone, for our panelists. Requesting you to please felicitate Mr. Prince Arora, CRM and Network Marketing, BMW India. Kind request to you to kindly felicitate Krishna Gautam, Vice President, CX Urbanic. Next, may I request you to kindly felicitate Meetu Arora, Vice President, Customer Care, Sleepwell Group. Thank you. May I request you to kindly felicitate Mr. RATNESH Srivastava, Head Global Loyalty Analytics, Mastercard. May I request you, sir, to kindly felicitate Mr. Pradeep Chopra, Vice President, Product, Head of CX, IndiaMART, InterMESH. Last but not the least, let us felicitate our moderator, Mr. Kishor Fogla, founder, Yellow Slice. It's time to have a group picture, sir. Kindly join us for the group picture.